I tried to write the video script last night at 11 p.m. and right now it is 10 p.m. So maybe you can guess the subject of the video is procrastination. This video, which took a full day to go from a simple idea to actually filming it, like a shift happening, is the perfect example of the cycle. In short, you are seeing a YouTuber who keeps their promises. The way I act while creating content is actually a story taken straight from my real life. But most of us go through something similar. For example, you're at work, it's 5 p.m. and you suddenly realize that the report you've been putting off is actually due tomorrow. It's time to pull yourself together and open your laptop. But first, like we all did, a quick look at your phone, Instagram and other kind of social media. Maybe you can catch up on your favorite YouTube channel, me. Actually, maybe you should make dinner first. You normally enjoy cooking, but it doesn't feel as fun with that report hanging over your head. And, oh, it's really late already. Maybe you give it another try in the morning. Sound familiar, right? This is a procrastination cycle. And trust me, we all been there. Like production of this video from the script. Now, right now, it's recording. And after recording process, I'm going to do the edit and the upload, and you know the process, right? So why do we keep putting things off even though we know it's bad for us? To be honest, postponing something is not always procrastination. Or maybe I'm just fooling myself. Responsible time management is about deciding which tasks are important and which can wait. At least that's what I think. If you agree, please back me up. Procrastination, on the other hand, is delaying a task we said we will do even though we know postponing it will bring negative consequences, and doing it without any valid reason. Clearly, doing something we expect to harm us is irrational, but ironically, procrastination is actually the result of our body trying to protect us by making us avoid a task we perceive as a threat. So when you think about it more deeply, procrastination may actually be a subconscious survival mechanism designed to keep us safe. For example, when your brain recognizes that you need to write that report, it reacts the same way it does to any incoming threat. The amygdala, the group of neurons responsible for emotional processing and threat detection, triggers the release of hormones like adrenaline, and it initiates a fear response. This stress-induced panic often suppresses the influence of the prefrontal cortex, which normally help us think long-term and regulate our emotions. And right in the middle of the fight, flight, or freeze response, you choose to avoid the threat by replacing it with the far less stressful task, which is, for example, like watching this video or dumb scrolling. So this reaction may seem exaggerated. It's not a situation where your life is directly in danger, but we are most likely to postpone tasks that evoke strong negative emotions, fear, insecurity, and so on. Studies on procrastination, university students have shown that the participants were more likely to delay the task they perceived as stressful or challenging. So university students are not like a Barney Stinson who always says that challenge accepted. And as procrastination continues, the task itself starts to feel even more difficult. For example, in one experiment, students received study reminders throughout the day while they were studying. Most of them said it's not that bad, but when they procrastinated, they constantly rated the idea of studying as very stressful, making it even harder to start. Like me, started to record this video. Because procrastination is fueled by negative emotions, some people are more prone to than others. Those who have difficulty regulating their emotions or who have low self-esteem tend to procrastinate more, no matter how good their time management skills are. But there is a common misconception that all procrastinators are lazy. In the body and brain, laziness shows up as a lack of energy and general apathy. When you feel lazy, you are more likely to sit and do nothing. You don't busy yourself with unnecessary tasks. In fact, many people procrastinate because they care too much. Procrastinators often carry a strong fear of failure. They delay tasks because they are afraid their work won't meet their own high standards. Procrastinators often carry a strong fear of failure because they are afraid their work won't meet their own high standards. Basically, they are perfectionists. Regardless of the cause, the results are similar. Frequent procrastinators may experience anxiety and depression, constant feeling of shame, higher stress levels, and stress-related physical issues. Worst of all, even though procrastination harms us in the long run, it reduces stress in the short term. That's why it becomes reinforced response, strengthened by the body as coping mechanism for stressful tasks. So, how do we break the cycle? Is there any solution to that? Traditionally, it was believed that procrastinators needed to develop discipline and the strict time management habit. But today, many researchers say the opposite. Being too hard on yourself can add even more negative emotion to the task and make the threat feel more intense. To interrupt this stress response, we first need to address and reduce these negative emotions. Let me give you a few simple strategies. Breaking the task into small, manageable parts. Writing down why it stresses you and exploring the roots of those feelings. Removing distractions that make avoidance easy. For example, my solution is put my phone to do another room to avoid distraction. And most importantly, practicing self-compassion, forgiving yourself and planning to do better next time. Because a culture that keeps the cycle of stress and procrastination going harms all of us in the long run. Yes, we live in a culture where we sometimes get lost among our responsibilities, but maybe taking a few relaxing breaks, like yogis, exhale and inhale, and returning to our work is actually what we need. And if, like me, you have just come out from your little procrastination break, then it's time to return your task and start creating again in a renewed and creative way. I think that we all need to know about procrastination. But the problem is application is more harder than the theory. Always. I hope everyone creative breaks and find a motivation to do not procrastinate more. Do not forget to like and subscribe and support me on Patreon. Now for me, it's editing time. Love, Shewan.